Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Makeup by Tammy. How you doing? Okay, so I'm gonna start by cleaning the face. Welcome back to my channel, and then we're moving on to the brows. I have a tutorial on how to draw your brows. I'm going to be putting the link to the video in the description box below. Make sure to click, make sure to watch. It's very detailed, but I'm just going to explain on this particular tutorial. So an update on your brow tutorial or how to draw your brows is actually when you're working on a client, you have to lift up the forehead, the side of the forehead, so you can have a grip on your lines when you're drawing your brows. So make sure your pencil is also very sharp, and then you draw a line just at the down part of the brow, and then you draw another line on the upper part and you connect it at the tail of the brow, and then you fill in the brow. By the tail, you follow the hairline, and at the beginning of the brow, as you can see that I'm doing now, you draw strokes upwards on the brow, and then you take a spoolie and then brush all together into place. So if you continue practicing this, trust me, your brows are going to be on fleek. And I'm going to repeat this same thing on the other brow. I always make sure I sharpen my pencil every single time before I draw a line. So I just sharpen my pencil again, and I'm drawing another line at the bottom of the brow right underneath the hair, and I'm going to draw on top as well to connect it together. Same thing as when I'm using a concealer to carve it out. I also use a concealer to cover the bottom part of the brow, and I join to the other brow so that I can have the same kind of shape. Do not be scared to keep practicing. Just do what you gotta do. And now I'm putting up light strokes upwards the brows to make it look more natural at the beginning of the brow. And now I'm taking this flat brush from BH Cosmetics using EYELINER Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn to conceal the bottom part of the brow, and I'm just drawing strokes with a concealer. Like I'm trying to avoid going on like one straight line, so I'm doing it gradually. And I learned this from a YouTuber named Kiki Adams. So once you just take the strokes gradually, it's easier for you. I'm still trying this and testing this out. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that for the other brow, and I'm gonna do that same thing on the top part of the brow. For the top part of the brow, I use her foundation shade to conceal the top part of the brow, and I'm going to put the concealer all over the eyelid just to correct the color of the eyes. So yeah, that's it pretty much for the brow. If it's stubborn hair, you can go ahead and use brow wax for the brow hair, or you can use brow gel for the brow hair. And always take your time when you're drawing your brows. Always take your time. Okay, so now we're done with the brows. Do not forget to check the video. Do not forget to check the video on how to draw your brows. Like I always say, we always have fun when we're filming these videos, honestly. It's always fun. So now I'm using the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk as my eyeshadow primer, and I'm going to put in this mostly on the eyelid. and I'm going to be blending it out with this same brush from Echo Tools. Now I'm using my All Matte palette, and I'm taking that brown shade with my Eye Magic blending brush, and I'm just tapping in to the edge of the eyes. As you can see, she doesn't really have much of crease or eyelid space, so I can't really work with much of shadows. So I'm just taking that brown shade and I'm tapping it in to the side of the eyes, and I'm going to take a brush that has no product on it, a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of that brown shade. I'm going to do that on both sides so that there's no harsh line. So I'm going to blend it in to a brow bone, and I didn't add any product or any eyeshadow on this blending brush. This blending brush is clean, there's nothing on it, so I'm just blending out the edges of that brown shade. So now I'm going back into the primer. That's the Jumbo Milk pencil. It crumbled when she looked up, so I'm just patting it in again because I can't put eyeshadow on a crumbled primer. It has to be smooth. It has to be a very smooth canvas. And I'm taking this pink eyeshadow from my Eye Magic palette. If you haven't seen my Eye Magic palette review, man, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just click on the link below and watch it. It's very interesting. It's a fun one. You don't want to miss it. So I'm taking that pink eyeshadow and I'm putting it right on the primer, and I'm not putting it all the way to the inner corner of the eyes. And now I'm taking a pigment from Luster Cosmetics. This pigment is called Ice Pink, and I'm just tapping it on top of that pink shadow that I applied on the eyes. And then once I'm done applying this particular pigment, I'm going to be putting another pigment in the inner corner of the eyes. This one is called Unicorn, just for it to have a gradient. I'm just going to blend both in with a brush. And using my pigment, I just put a little bit of setting spray on the brush. I just spray a little bit and I dip into the pigment pot and I apply on the eyes. So I'm going back into that brown shade to blend the edges. I'm adding a little bit more of the brown shade and I'm just going to blend everything together, and to be sure there's no harsh line. And I'm using these 3D mink lashes. I'm adding it onto the eyes. Using these lashes for the first time, I'm not sure I really liked it, honestly speaking. It gave me a lot of trouble. Okay, now I'm priming the face, and I'm using the Zaron face primer all over her face. And I'm going to be lining her eyes now. I'm using a Mabrouk liquid eyeliner. This eyeliner is very good. It's the bomb, but it's expensive. It's not cheap, but nothing good comes cheap anyway. So I'm also going to be drawing a wing eyeliner. I'm taking my time to do this. Just always take your time. Make sure the head is steady. Make sure your hand is steady. Don't be distracted. Drawing a straight line now. And moving on to the face. I've primed the face with the Zaron face primer. So now I'm using my e.l.f. brush with my Maybelline foundation, and this shade is 350. I'm just tapping the foundation into the skin and I'm going to be doing this all over the face. And don't forget, I used the foundation already for the upper part of our brows, so I'm just going to blend everything into each other. And I'm not putting foundation underneath our eyes because we're going to put concealer there, and you know, I don't want too much of product right underneath our eyes because I'm going to be putting concealer, so I didn't add foundation there. Now I'm highlighting her face. Again, I have a video on how to highlight and contour. I'm going to put it in the description box below. Make sure you watch it. But I'm highlighting her face with LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. I'm highlighting underneath her eyes, and I'm going to use a Real Techniques blending brush to blend it in. And I had a huge challenge blending this concealer. I don't know what happened, if it's the foundation, if it's the primer, if it's the beauty blender. It was just packing the product onto the beauty blender. It was difficult, but anyway, I just had to continue and fix it. Now I'm using a flat brush to apply the concealer on the nose so as to highlight her nose. I'm also using the rest of the concealer on the brush to sharpen the wing, make it very sharp. And I'm going to go again with the beauty blender, and I'm going to blend everything in. Take your time when you're doing this particular process, because if your hand shakes, you might just spoil the liquid eyeliner, that's the wing liner. So just take your time. And I'm blending it out with the beauty blender. The blending on this particular look was not my best, but it came out nice anyway. So I think my beauty blender was either not damp enough, or there was just something with the primer and the foundation on this particular day. I just don't know. Okay, so now I'm adding the concealer on the other parts of the face that I want to highlight. That's the chin, above her lips, her forehead, and I'm adding a little more, just a little more concealer under the eyes so that everything can blend more, because when I blended it earlier on, the concealer was peaking, it was going on the beauty blender. Okay, so now I'm blending again underneath the eyes, hoping it blends well this time. And I'm going to be taking another concealer just to brighten it a bit, because it seems like the Fawn is like an exact foundation shade. So I need to brighten underneath the eyes. This is a step you can always, you know, ignore. You don't have to do this, but I felt like her face was just one color. You know, I needed to add a little more color to her face, especially underneath the eyes, to make it brighter. And now I'm setting the whole face with my RCMA no color powder. I'm putting this everywhere I applied the concealer. And make sure while you're putting the setting powder, the beauty blender is damp. Okay, moving on to contour. I'm using Maybelline powder in cacao to contour our cheeks. I'm doing on both sides, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the forehead, not too much, a little bit. And now moving on to the eyes again, I'm using the same pigment that I use on the lid, and I'm putting it underneath our waterline. I actually put gel liner on our waterline, Eye Magic gel liner on her waterline. But she was tearing up so bad, I couldn't even record. So yes, I'm adding pigments on the waterline. I just put setting spray on the brush and I dipped it into the pigment pot, and I'm adding it on the waterline. And I'm going to use a brush to gently sweep off the excess pigment that has poured on her face, just gently. So now I'm using my Milani powder in 108 to powder in to her skin the setting powder. I'm not dusting it away. I'm using the Milani powder to press the setting powder into her skin. Now I'm going to contour the nose using the same powder I used to contour her face, but I'm tapping it lightly. And I'm using a Zoeva brush to do this process. And I'm using a NYX blush and an e.l.f. blush brush to apply the blush on the apple of the cheek, just right on the apple. I'm not blushing upwards, just on one particular spot. Yes, just it's a very tiny spot. Now I'm highlighting using my sleek highlight palette, and I'm going in on the highlight, baby. I'm going in, and I'm going to be putting this everywhere, on the forehead, the chin, the nose, and on the cheekbone. And I'm also going to be applying it on the brow bone as well, and the inner corner of the eyes. And I'm going to be using my finger to tap the highlighter on the nose where I applied the concealer. Now I'm using my Zaron mascara to just brush out her lower lashes. I was going to apply false lashes onto her lower lashes, but she has very long lower lashes, very long ones. And I'm using my Davis pencil that I use for the brows to line her lips. I just needed something brown to line her lips, and I went for the Davis pencil. And then I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. Alisa Ashley lip gloss and putting it all over the lips, and then use a setting spray. And guess what? We are done with the look. And I'm going to be uploading another video on how we tied this round gele as well. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on notification bell. It's just right beside the subscribe button. Please follow me on Instagram. It's at Makeup by Temi. Do not forget to subscribe. And on her face, there was a patch that I kept seeing that I just didn't understand. So I had to go back and use powder to work on it, but I don't know. It was just frustrating, but I just tried to make it work, you know. And we are done. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to like this video, comment, share this video, and do whatever. Let's just grow. Let's grow together. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something. I really appreciate it. Do not forget to stop by next time. Adios. Bye bye.